In today's class, we will discuss about the prevention of occupational diseases. Uh, in your previous class, you might have learned about occupational diseases, like what is occupational disease, what are the different types of occupational diseases, the classification of occupational diseases, the various health hazards that we see in occupational diseases, and all those things. In today's class, we will look at the preventive aspects. Now, the prevention of occupational diseases can be divided into three categories. You have medical measures, you have engineering measures, and you have legislative measures. Medical measures refers to those measures that are done at the individual level. The engineering measures refers to the modifications that can be done at the workplace. And finally, we have the legislative measures. Here we look at the various laws that are in place to check these occupational diseases. Now, coming to the medical measures, one of the important aspect of medical preventive measures is examination. That is, your general checkup, right? Now, examination of the individual can be done at 2 points of time. One, before he is assigned a job, and the second, after he is assigned a job. Now, conducting an examination before assigning a job is called as pre-placement examination. Pre-placement, before the placement examination is being conducted. Now, what is the purpose of this pre-placement examination? This is to find the right person for the right job. You examine the individual and then you come to a conclusion that whether he is fit for that particular job or not. Now, how do we do this pre-placement examination? First, we take a thorough history, that is his past history, his family history, his occupational history, and then you do a detailed physical examination and radiological examination. So the ultimate purpose is to know that whether the individual is fit to work in that particular establishment. Now, in this slide, you can look at some of the examples as to why pre-placement examination is important. Now, you can see some of the undesirable conditions, like you have conducted the examination in the individual and you find out that the individual is anemic or hypertensive. In such cases, he cannot work in a lead factory. It is not desirable, right? If you find the individual to be asthmatic or having any skin diseases, he cannot work in a dye industry. If he is a patient with a chronic lung disease, he cannot work in a silica industry. You can see various examples in this slide. This is why pre-placement examination becomes important. Okay, now pre-placement examination is done. The individual is assigned a job, and once he starts working, the medical examination has to be done on a regular basis. This is called as periodical examination. Usually, in most of the industries, what we do is annual examination, that is medical examination done once a year. Now, why is this done? What we know is occupational diseases usually have a slow, they develop very slowly. So by doing periodical examination, you can pick them up at an early stage. And if you pick it at an early stage, the preventive measures can be implemented at an early stage. Now, this periodical examination need not be annual. In certain, again, it depends on the type of industry. In some industries, like in lead, where lead is involved, where toxic dyes are involved, in radium industries, in all these places, the periodical examination is done on a monthly basis. Then again, in factories where irritant chemicals like dichromates are used, the periodical examination is done on a daily basis. So this is about examination. You have pre-placement examination, and once the person starts working, you have periodical examination. Okay. The third aspect is to provide medical and healthcare services, right? Medical and healthcare services like first aid services, immunization, all these things should be provided both to the individual who is working at in an industry and to his family members also. The next aspect of medical measures is notification. What do you understand by notification is certain occupational diseases are considered as notifiable diseases. That is, these diseases must be notified. Now, what happens when you notify a disease? It will be easy to initiate the preventive measures. That is the objective of notifying a particular disease. Now, there are various occupational diseases are listed under Factories Act. You have 22 diseases that must be notified. Under Mines Act, you have 3 diseases, and then again you have 8 diseases under dock regulations. So all these, the occurrence of these diseases should be notified. The next aspect is supervision of the working environment. Now, this is done by the physician. What he does is, on a periodic basis, he comes and he inspects the working environment. He looks at various aspects like temperature, lighting, ventilation, humidity, noise, air pollution, and the overall sanitation of the working environment. This is done on a regular basis. Next, we have maintenance and analysis of records. The health records of the worker who is working in the industry, his health records and his occupational records, all these should be maintained properly and should be analyzed on a regular basis. Finally, we have the last aspect of this medical measure is to provide health education. Health education and counseling. Now, health education should start before the worker enters the factory. Now, health education regarding what? Okay, one of the main health education is regarding proper usage of personal protective equipment. Now, every industry, depending on the type of work, will provide appropriate personal protective equipments like gloves, your masks, helmets, gumboots, all those things. Now, proper usage of this personal protective equipment is very important, and that education must be given to the individual. Then other health education like in general, how to maintain proper hygiene, proper hand washing, all those things should be given to the individual. Okay, coming to engineering measures. Engineering measures is nothing but those modifications that can be done to the workplace. Now, workplace modifications, it starts with the design of the building, right? It starts from right from the blueprint stage, because once the building is constructed, any other modification or alteration is not possible. So right from the blueprint stage, you design the building, that is with regard to the type of floor, the height of the ceiling, the walls used, the flooring that is used, the roof that is used, number of windows present, the ventilation that is present, all those things should be designed. Okay, now once the building is designed and constructed, good housekeeping is very important. Cleanliness plays a very important role. Cleanliness, again, ventilation, lighting, proper washing of the clothing, food arrangements, and in general maintenance should be better, so that the efficiency of work of the individual is increased. Then we have general ventilation. Every room should have a ventilation opening. That is very important. And as per Factories Act, a minimum of 500 cubic feet of air space is recommended for each worker. So that shows the importance of ventilation. Okay. Then we can see mechanization. Mechanization, what it does is it reduces the contact, hazardous contact of the individual who is working at an industry with harmful substances, right? You can take example of construction work that happens in a more of a rural area. You can compare that with the modern construction work that we see in cities, right? What we see in rural area is the cement is mixed manually. It is carried with the hands. There is no gloves used, no shoes used, right? The cement comes in contact with skin of almost every worker over there, right? But if you compare that to a more mechanized, more organized construction of in a city scenario, you see them wearing gloves. You see them the cement comes as a ready mix in a vehicle. It is pumped to the site. The contact with hazardous harmful substances is reduced. Similarly, even in chemical industries, mixers can be used, right? Pumping can be done so that the manual contact is reduced. So mechanization should be done to the fullest wherever possible. It should be done. Hand mixing should be avoided. Usually, cases like dermatitis that is mainly because of direct contact with harmful substances can be reduced by increasing mechanization. Okay. Then the next point is substitution. What are you going to substitute? You are substituting or replacing harmful material with something that is less harmful or harmless, lesser toxic material. Like for example, if you look at paints, instead of using lead containing paints, you can use zinc or iron paints, right? In case, instead of using mercury salts, you can use silver salts. Wherever possible, these substitutions should be done. The next point is about dust. Dust should be controlled at the point of origin. You can use water sprays for this, right? The machineries that emit out lot of dust, if water is sprayed at this side, the dust will settle to the bottom, right? Or other method is is inclusion of a little bit of moisture to the material that goes into the process, like grinding, mixing. You add water beforehand so that it becomes comparatively dust free. Okay. Next, the next point is enclosure. What enclosure refers to? You are enclosing the harmful materials and processes, okay, from the individual who works there. It may be a grinding machinery, right? It may emit lot of hazardous end product or dust, so you enclose it so that it doesn't come in contact with the individual. Then you have isolation. Look, every worker working in an industry doesn't have to, won't come in contact with, he need not come in contact with certain harmful substances, right? There are different people who do different work. If you don't isolate them, what happens is every individual will come in contact with these hazardous chemicals. So you have to separate them, you have to isolate them. So this can be done in space or in time. In space means you have a particular area of work for the individuals who come in contact with harmful substances, and particular space for those who don't. Isolation by time is, there are different shifts. People working in one shift will work in particular with that harmful substance. People working in other shift do the other works of the industry. Okay. Then you have local exhaust ventilation. Okay, ventilation again is very important. Protective devices. Protective devices is nothing but protective devices like earplugs, ear muffs, helmets, all those things. It becomes very important. Respirators and gas masks, usually in chemical industries, is very important. And other examples of protective devices are earplugs, ear muffs. This you can see in industries where heavy machineries are used. Heavy machinery is producing a lot of noise, and you can see this also in people who are working in airports, in the runways, right, near the runway. They usually wear these ear muffs. Again, construction workers can wear helmets, safety shoes. This is again, construction workers are more prone for accidental injuries, right? Any heavy object falling on them, right? Stepping on sharp nails. So you every occupation will have a particular protective device that will help them. Helmets and safety shoes in construction sites, aprons, gloves, these can be worn in laboratories, gumboots, barrier creams, screens, goggles, again welding shield. Welders usually hold that welding shield to protect their eyes. These are some of the examples for protective devices. Again, using protective device, proper usage of protective device is very important. So that has to be instructed. The correct using technique should be instructed to the individual. Then you have environmental monitoring. Periodical monitoring of the working environment should be done. It should be done at a regular basis so that everything is within permissible limit. Now there are some certain standards that are set, okay, for ventilation, how the lighting should be, what should be the temperature in the working area. There is a certain standards are set. So regular monitoring should be done to see whether it is under permissible limit or not. Finally, you have statistical monitoring and research. all the data that is collected, so it has to be maintained, it has to be analyzed, and maybe for research purpose also. So this is regarding the engineering measures. Okay, finally coming to the legislative measures, that is, what are the laws in place. Mainly we'll discuss two things here. We have the Factories Act of 1948 and Employee State Insurance Act 1948. This is the ESI Act. So this, both the Factories Act and ESI Act will be continued in the next class. So to summarize today's class, we discussed about prevention of occupational diseases. So we had three categories in this. You had medical measures, you have engineering measures, and legislative measures. In medical measures, we had pre-placement examinations, periodical examinations, and then we had medical and healthcare services, notification of occupational diseases, supervising the working environment, and then health education and counseling of the individual. And under engineering measures, it was mainly, first is the designing of the building. Once the building is designed, good housekeeping, proper mechanization of the work, substitutions wherever possible, isolation of workers wherever possible, usage of protective devices, very important, and then environmental monitoring, that is periodical environmental monitoring. And finally we have the legislative measures, mainly the Factories Act and the ESI Act, which will be discussed in the next class. I hope the topic was clear. We'll continue this in our next session. Thank you.